Owl fans. Welcome back to the FAU Sports Show. I'm Dennis Morgan.
And I'm Juan Galliano. As fall sports for the semester are wrapping up, winter sports are starting. That means basketball season is now in full swing. Leandre Fox was at the Borough for the first home game of the season. How'd they do, Leandre?
After a tough season opening loss to the USF Bulls, the Owls return home to the Borough for their first home game of the season. And this one is for the kids.
The Owls wanted to impress the crowd in their home opener, and that they did. They showed absolutely no mercy against the Edward Waters Tigers. The Owls played an impressive brand of defense, racking up 12 steals and 5 blocks on the day. That defensive performance transitioned into explosive offense, allowing the Owls to jump out to a huge early lead. The Tigers had no chance in this one. The Borough was rocking. The kids of A.D. Henderson and FAU High School were going crazy the entire game. And you could tell playing in front of that energy made the Owls play with insane intensity. The kids were having a great time, the team was having a great time, and at halftime, the teachers even got in on the action. The Tigers attempted to mount a late comeback, but the spirit of the Borough was just too much to overcome.
The Owls put on an absolute show for these kids. They dominated Edward Waters from the opening tip-off. The energy was crazy, and hopefully that translates through the rest of the season. For Owl TV, I'm Leandre Fox.
What a great way to start off the season, Juan. How do you think the Owls are going to do this year?
Well, the Owls ended last season 5 games below 500, and they just started this season off with a 2-2 record. They weren't dominant in conference play last season, but there's still a whole lot of basketball left to be played this season.
Yeah, Juan, I really do agree. I think that FAU basketball team with the rest of FAU athletics are going to go to a whole new level this year. Now we're going to go to Claudia Faust, who sat down with Tyler Frank, one of the shortstop of the FAU baseball team, who played for Team USA this summer.
How did you find out that you were invited? What was the invitation process? Did you get a phone call?
Actually, Coach Mack had told me, and probably three weeks left in the season, and he said, they're looking at you. You play well. You have a shot, and it was kind of short and sweet, but I heard from them after the season, and they invited me, so it was great.
Did you already have plans to play summer ball or something? Did you have to switch your summer plans for this?
A little bit. I was already going to the Cape, so I ended up still going up there for a couple weeks before USA Baseball. So I went there, went to USA Baseball, and ended up coming back to the Cape too. So.
What was a typical day of tryouts like?
We get to the field around 10 in the morning and end at 4, 5 in the afternoon. So it was a real big process, and they were always watching everything you did. They always told us that.
Was there a difference in coaching style that you could tell from like playing for FAU versus trying out for Team USA?
I wouldn't say a huge difference. I mean, we have great coaches here, and I love the coaches here, but we did have West Coast coaches, which are 2 different styles, So I would say it was a little different in that aspect, but both had great coaching staffs.
You played multiple positions while you were there. What was that like? Have you played most of these positions before, or were you trying something for the first time there?
I kind of pride myself on being able to do that, and I definitely have some experience with that. So, I mean, I played every infield position except first and every outfield position except center. So the outfield was new, but all the infield positions I grasped pretty easily.
So what was your reaction when you found out you made the final 24-man roster?
I called Coach Mack, and I told him, and he was real happy for me. And it was actually my mom's birthday. So, yeah.
Little birthday gift for her.
Yeah, that was a pretty big deal. It was a great day, so yeah.
I know different countries play in like totally different styles. Did you notice that, like playing specific teams from different countries, or was it challenging in that way?
Yes. Every team had a real different style. I mean, Cuba was really slow.
Really?
So our games one game went 4 hours because just Cuba does their own thing, and Japan's really by the book. It's more of like their coach is like a sensei, like a master, and they're really they look up to their coaches, so everything's by the book.
Okay.
And yeah, every team had a really different aspect, but it was good to see.
Did you find it challenging, or was it easy to catch on to how they did things?
It was kind of cool, you know, you pick up on different people's games and kind of add it to your game. So I think seeing all the different aspects of the different countries, you know, will just help me become a better baseball player.
What's the biggest lesson you learned in this experience?
You know, I would say just being around all those different great baseball players and all the differences of why they're great, you know. So everybody has their own unique thing they bring to the table in a baseball field. So using yours to your ability and maybe adding someone else's.
What does it say to you that you were the only player that was from Conference USA? Did that give you a sense of pride?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like, you know, Conference USA sometimes gets overlooked for the talent we have in our conference. And, you know, just maybe putting our name out there was, you know, I feel like my biggest accomplishment was, you know, putting our team on the map as FAU and, you know, putting Conference USA on the map. So our conference is great, and I think we're going to get some notoriety pretty soon.
Do you think that there's something that you brought, that you learned from FAU or that you learned from Coach Mack that you were able to bring to the team that maybe other players weren't able to?
Those players are pretty good. I mean, they're all really talented, and I was just happy to be out there. But, I mean, absolutely, I feel like I bring my own kind of style and play, and, you know, I definitely gave 110% out there every time I stepped out there, which was my biggest aspect. You know, I was just there to help in any way I could, which was the fun part, you know.
So what was your most memorable moment of the entire experience?
You know, making a lot of great friends. That, you know, I went up there kind of not knowing what was to come with these type of players, you know. But they were all great people and great friends, and I'd have to say, you know, hitting the walk-off was pretty cool. That was fun. I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
Can you walk us through this walk-off?
It was actually second and third and a base hit up the middle with. It was in the bottom of the ninth. We hadn't scored yet. It was 1-0, and there was one out, and they put in a lefty as a reliever, and there was a lefty coming up, and I was just sitting there, like waiting, and the coaches didn't do it till the last second. They're like, all right, get up there. So I went up there, and I was like, I'm just gonna be aggressive and hope for the best, you know. And, you know, things happen in weird ways, and it was first pitch and base hit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get a Gatorade shower?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was fun.
I guess the last thing I'd ask you is, after this experience, like, do you feel more prepared to take on, this might be your final season at FAU, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you're going to do this season, but do you feel more prepared now?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, just all your experiences build up and, you know, create that confidence going into your junior year and senior year and your last year. So I think the main thing is just the leadership role now. You know, you've been through so much, and you just pass it down to the younger guys and help them out.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be great at it, and best of
Thank
luck
you.
to you this season.
Appreciate it.
I'm really excited to see how you do.
Thank you.
That's really cool that Tyler was able to represent FAU and Conference USA. I'm looking forward to see him how he performs this year, since it's probably his final season at FAU.
I agree, Juan. I'm looking forward to cheering on FAU's baseball team, and the action starts February 16th.
There's a lot of great things happening here at FAU, but the athletes on the team might just be a little bit smaller than the Owls you're used to. Oscar Fonseca, a student here at FAU, organized a tennis camp for children with disabilities, and Taylor Smith went out to the courts to see what this program is all about.
Our friend Oscar Fonseca is serving up something great here at Florida Atlantic. Originally from Ecuador and now a med student, he hits the tennis courts every Saturday to help teach kids with disabilities tennis.
Yeah, well, everything started about a year ago. I have a cousin, he has Down syndrome, and I realized that he didn't have too many friends and he was kind of isolated. And I was like, you know, hey, a bunch of kids are, you know, they need more friends, they need to be involved in our communities, and that's why I started this club. I've been playing tennis since I was a kid, and I use this opportunity to give back to my community.
Seeing the kids' smiles, you can tell they love the opportunity to learn how to play this sport with their friends.
About when I swing the ball.
And you get it over the net,
Get
right?
over
It's
the
pretty
net.
awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're picking it up really fast, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Coach Oscar's a good instructor.
But the kids aren't the only ones who are having a great time. Their parents who cheer them on every Saturday are thankful for the opportunity for their children.
Awesome.
It's awesome, yeah. It's really great that Coach Oscar takes the time to show the children how to play this sport. You know, it really opens up a new avenue for them to express themselves and get some exercise and outside fresh air.
The joy it brings to the children.
Absolutely, and the bond that they're making, and at the same time they're learning a skill. It's just awesome altogether.
And they feel included and accepted, and that they can do things other children can do.
Absolutely, that's the main thing for us parents. Inclusion is everything, so we'll feel like we're part of something.
And for Oscar, he couldn't think of a better way to spend his Saturday afternoons.
This fills my heart with joy and rewards that cannot be measured, and I love it.
And you can be a part of this great opportunity too. Volunteers are always needed, and children of all ages and disabilities are able to join Oscar and his buddies on the courts.
It's such a great opportunity to make a difference in the lives of those kids.
It really is, Dennis. And as excited as I am to watch the Owls play tennis, basketball, and baseball, that means that football season is officially coming to an end.
The Owls have been playing strong as they've been undefeated in Conference USA. They are 8-3 in the regular season, and 2 home games ago, they took on Marshall, the Thundering Herd, with our very own Matt Brown on the sideline to witness the action.
Hey Owl fans, Matt Brown here at the FAU football game on Military Appreciation Night. Our Owls are about to take on the Marshall Thundering Herd. The team is 4-0 in conference play, which has never been done before in program history. Let's hope they keep the streak going and end the night at 5-0. The Owls had a little extra motivation coming into this game. They hope to not only beat Marshall for the first time in school history, but also become bowl eligible for the first time since 2013. Quarterback Jason Driscoll got things started on the opening drive with the 2-yard touchdown run. On Marshall's first possession, FAU safety Jalen Young intercepted the tipped ball and returned it 38 yards to the Marshall 19. On the very next play, Willie Wright ran the ball 19 yards for a touchdown. Place kicker Greg Joseph missed the ensuing PAT, keeping the score at 13-0. Marshall hoped to get on the scoreboard and cut into FAU's lead. On 3rd and 1 at the 44-yard line, wide receiver Marcel Williams catches the ball and hurdles over a defender to the 13-yard line for a first down. On 3rd and 8, Chase Litton's pass is broken up by cornerback Shelton Lewis, forcing the Thundering Herd to attempt a field goal. Corey Vedvik makes the 28-yard field goal to put the game at 13-3. After an FAU punt, Marshall was looking to score before halftime. On the drive, Litton is picked off by Shelton Lewis for the second time of the first half, giving FAU the ball with some time left on the clock. On 3rd and 8 at their own 14, Devin Singletary ran for 66 yards to the Thundering Herd 10-yard line for first and goal. A couple plays later, Greg Joseph made a 31-yard field goal to give the Owls a 16-3 lead at halftime. After receiving the kickoff to start the second half, Marcel Williams catches the ball for a 59-yard reception before being brought down at the 5-yard line. 2 plays later, Chase Litton throws a touchdown pass to tight end Ryan Urachek. After the touchdown, Marshall decided to pull out their bag of tricks and attempt an onside kick, which they recovered. On 4th and 3 at the 24-yard line, Marshall decided to gamble again and go for it. It paid off as Litton completed a 20-yard pass to Williams for first and goal. On 3rd and goal at the FAU 1-yard line, Keon Davis punches the ball in for a touchdown. Corey Vedvik missed the extra point attempt, keeping the score tied at 16-all. FAU wanted to show Marshall that they weren't the only one with the trick up their sleeve. Quarterback Jason Driscoll throws a backward pass to wide receiver Cameron Solomon, who then throws it to Devin Singletary for a 60-yard touchdown, helping the Owls regain the lead 23-16. On 4th and 6, with the Thundering Herd down 30-23 late in the fourth quarter, Chase Litton heaves up a desperation pass which falls into the arms of defender Jalen Young for his 3rd interception of the game, which ties the program record. Believing the game was over, Driscoll kneels the ball 3 times in an attempt to run out the clock. On 4th down, it is discovered that there are still 14 seconds remaining, so instead of attempting a punt and risking a return, punter Ryan Rickle runs the ball out of the back of the end zone for a safety. FAU then had to kick the ball off to Marshall with 8 seconds still on the clock. After what seemed like a million laterals, FAU finally tackles the Marshall ball carrier, ending the game. After an exciting 30-25 win over the Marshall Thundering Herd, your FAU Owls are now 6-3 overall and 5-0 in conference play for the first time in school history. They are currently first place in Conference USA standings as the Lane train travels to Louisiana Tech next week before coming back home on November 18th for the final home game of the season against the FIU Panthers. Signing off from the Blue Wave Sports Show, I'm Matt Brown.
That was a great game. Afterwards, the students that stayed for the whole game actually rushed the field to celebrate.
That's awesome. The fans are even more pumped for the annual Shula Bowl against FIU. It was one of the best rounds we've seen in the 3 years since we took on Miami Hurricanes and suffered the unfortunate loss.
Last year, the Panthers took home the Shula Bowl trophy, but this year, the Lane train stole it from them, and our Owls took home the dub. Taylor Smith was there to watch our Owls celebrate the victory.
Friendly rivalry is taking place tonight as the FIU Panthers come to the FAU Stadium for our last home game of the season. Now, the Owls are #1 ranked in Conference USA, and the Panthers are going to have to put up a fight to win this year's Shula Bowl trophy.
The Owls currently lead 10-4 in the series and want their trophy back after losing it last year away at FIU. Under 4 minutes into the first quarter, FAU's quarterback Jason Driscoll capped off the drive with a 13-yard touchdown pass to number 40, Harrison Bryant. The Owls started off strong and didn't let a 7-minute delay affect their play after the lights went out at the stadium. Shortly after, they were back on the field, running back and player number 5, Devin Singletary, or as we like to call him, Motor, ran a 70-yard touchdown with less than 2 minutes left on the clock in the first quarter, leaving the Owls up 14-0 going into the second. The rain kept up strong throughout the second, and FIU managed to score a touchdown with 8 minutes left on the clock, keeping it a close game. But with only 30 seconds left before the half, Driscoll completed his second touchdown pass for 16 yards to wide receiver and player 11, Deonfrene McGriff, in the end zone. Heading into the half, Owls up 21-10. 6 minutes and 7 seconds into the third, Woods caught another 7-yard touchdown pass from Driscoll. The Owls were on fire for the fourth quarter with Motor scoring another catching pass from Driscoll, and then Greg Howell running a 3-yard touchdown with only 1 minute and a half left on the clock.
What a game for our Owls. Quarterback Jason Driscoll held 4 touchdown passes, and Caleb Woods had 172 rushing yards, leaving our Owls up 52-24, taking home the Shula Bowl trophy and a conference championship game.
The Owls are not only Shula Bowl champions, but we are officially hosting the conference championship against North Texas December 2nd.
There's so much happening with the FAU football program. This is also the first time that the Owls will be in a bowl game since 2008. How do you think it's going to be, Dennis?
That's a good question. I think the FAU football team, no matter who we play, where we play, or whatever time, the fans will show up and the team will show up, and we're going to get that victory.
Thanks for joining us all semester, and we will see you guys in January for another great semester of the Owl Sports.
Don't forget to follow us on social media, FAU Owl TV, and subscribe to the YouTube page.
See you next time, guys.